Hello world, how you guys doing? Welcome to day 22 as we dive into another day in Mayhem in May. Listen, today's topic, you guys, is measure everything. I love this topic. Why? Because this is what you need to do in your business before you can just continue to keep scaling within the business. So my tip when it comes to measuring everything is that income and expenses are key in order to find out what you're spending and how often. So it's very, very important that you're measuring everything from a penny all the way up to the millions and billions and trillions of dollars that you guys are going to be making in your business. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So you can measure everything in your business from your sales and marketing efforts to your customer service and even your employee productivity. By measuring everything, you can get a clear picture of what's working and what's not, and make changes accordingly. So, of course, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you go about measuring everything within your business. So, the first one is sales and marketing, right? The reason why you want to be able to measure your sales and marketing, and honestly, I would measure those sales and marketing monthly, right? I wouldn't wait quarterly. I wouldn't wait semi-annually. I wouldn't wait annually. I would make those adjustments immediately, right? You want to have a target goal in your sales. You want to have a target goal in your marketing, and you want to be able to measure out how much did you spend to get the sale, right? And then how much marketing do you need to spend to get the sale, right? So it's very important that you're measuring these factors out when it comes to sales and marketing. The second one is sales numbers, right? So in your sales numbers, again, if you do not have a definite goal on a monthly basis that you're trying to hit or reach, you're really not scaling your business, right? So you have to put something in front. It has to be a target, right? So you have to measure what's going to be the sales numbers, right? And then what is it going to take to get to those sales numbers, all right? The next one is conversion rates, right? How much does it cost to convert a client over into your particular business with a product or service? Okay. You have to measure that. Why is that important? Because yes, you may be making $100 for the sale, but what created that sale? Was it an ad? If so, how much did that ad cost? Right? Was it a flyer? If so, how much did that flyer cost? Was it a one-on-one meeting? If so, how much was the drive? How much was the food, right? All of that is a factor in the conversion rate of how you're measuring how you got that sale, because now it's not 100% profit, right? You have to take that out of that fee. And what will happen is you'll start finding out like, wow, yes, I'm making this money, but I'm still in the red because it took all of this just to acquire a client. Okay. Website traffic, right? Measuring how many people actually come to your website and then how many people actually get converted, right? You have to measure that. Why is that important? Because then it'll make you be like, okay, do I need to add more video? Do I need to add more color? Maybe I'm not giving enough information out. Why are these clients not converting over? Do I not have anybody to a bot to immediately intro the client while they're on the website? These are certain factors that you have to take measures in. Why? Because you want to be able to have a high conversion rate, right? And the only way in doing that is if you do what? Measure these things. Email open rates, right? I have individuals who say, oh, I didn't get your email, but we're able to look and see that you clicked on the email, you stayed on the email for 5 minutes or more, and you clicked either the next button or you closed the email. This gives us data to now measure and say, what are we doing wrong? Why is it that these clients are not clicking to the sale? They spent 5 minutes on what caused them to spend. All of these are measuring factors of how you do what? Increase your sales, increase conversion rates, and also scale your business. Social media engagement, right? Very important. If you're going live like I am, right? You want to be able to have somebody to be able to come in and tag the individuals, add more comments to it, right? You have to measure these things. Like, why is it that I put a video out and I only got 14 likes or 15 likes? That means that somebody is not seeing it. And I get it, right? Social media is so set up to where now you have these platforms that are trying to control it, but that means that you can also control it too, right? What does that mean? Go back, start tagging, putting people, start sending out the messages to people to see if your information can be helpful, not only to them, but to somebody else. Okay. Next one, customer service, extremely big. You should always measure customer service. What could you add to customer service to make it that much more user friendly? To do what? Keep the customer, right? Hone down customers that are irate, right? So that means that you may want to increase the client care. You may want to increase the quality. You may want to give consistent training. You may want to increase, your phone services. Like, whatever it is, measuring the customer service part of your business technically is the number one key when it comes to sustaining a client and continuously having a repeat client over and over again. Customer satisfaction scores, right? You guys will see, or you'll hear when you make a phone call, maybe to a cell phone company, they'll say, hey, listen, would you mind taking a survey after the phone call so it can let us know how we did, right? You wonder why that exists, because they're using that as data to do what? Go back and train their staff and say, hey guys, we didn't get a good score from this one particular client. Why? Well, let's listen to the call, right? That's why you hear that this call may be recorded for quality and insurance purposes, but also training purposes as well. Okay. Next one is net promoter scores, right? And what that means is basically, how much are you making in your business net? What's your net profit, right? Did you hit those target goals? Did you hit the target market? What month spiked for you to be able to hit it? Did you barely get there, but then this month it caused you to go over, right? These are things that are being measured. First call resolution rates, right? Pretty much the call to action when there is a problem in the business. How fast did it get resolved, right? What steps were taken to getting it resolved? These things are what we call to add to a training manual. So when somebody new comes in, they're able to know how to tackle these issues immediately. Okay. Call handle times, right? How long does it actually take you to be on a call with the client? And I understand it's on a case-by-case basis, but what's that typical time frame, right? What parameters do you have in place that you're putting the client on hold because you couldn't find some information, right? Then that lets the organization know that, okay, that we need to make sure that we're training on this particular category immediately, right? So there isn't a long waiting time, right? Because I want my call center to make sure that they know what they're talking about and make sure they're delivering the right information. Employee productivity, right? You guys heard me talk about this in the last few Mayhems in May, is that you always want to implement training, right? You're measuring that. How much training are you giving your employees? And if you're not giving that much training, how do you expect them to accelerate at a high level in your business, right? You have to measure that. Number of calls taken, right? How many calls do you let go maybe to the voicemail, right? It's very, very important that if you have a customer service center or an advocate or a VA, or you have an individual, are they not taking certain calls because they're on the call with some other client? Does that mean that now, because you're measuring that, does that say to yourself, well, maybe I need to either add another person, or maybe I need a bigger call center, right? This is important. Why is that important? Because you can either have two calls, either a sales call or a client that's on the fence of whether or not they should keep your services or product or return it, right? So not answering that call can potentially cause that individual to say, you know what, I don't even want this service anymore, right? So number of calls taken, right? Sales per hour, right? So when you're on the call, right, how long does it take a person to actually close on the sale, right? Or what about when you're out and about, right? Got people that's marketing. How long does it take that individual to be out in the field in order for them to get the sale? Important. number of emails sent, how many times, or what is the set standard in your organization that you have either a VA or a staff member that works with you, right? Not for you, but what is their numbers that they have to hit? I remember walking into an organization that I was helping with their marketing, advertising, and their promoting. With their staff, they had to send out 150 emails per day, right? So you talk about 8 hours, and they had to literally send out 150 emails per day. Now, in your mind, you may say, wow, that's a lot of emails. But if you do 150 emails divided by 8 hours, that kind of gives them enough time to be able to send those emails out, even respond to some of those emails. Why? Because they've already had templated standard information that's supposed to go out to these particular clients. Why is that? Because they measured what the typical response is for these particular clients. Number of tasks completed, right? This is very, very important. This is how you're measuring your employees' productivity, right? You give them tasks that they need to complete in a day and find out whether or not that they're completing those tasks in that 8-hour time frame. If not, it's like, well, from this time to this time, what were you doing, right? Why? Because you've already measured how much time it takes to complete these tasks already. That's why it's vital that you play a major role in your company before you pass it off to somebody else that you expect to run it, right? Very, very important. So by measuring all of these things, you can get a clear picture of what's working well and what needs to be improved. Make sure to track your progress over time so you can see the impact of everything else that's going on in your business. Okay. So listen, guys, I hope that this information was helpful. I know it was a little lengthy versus the other videos, but hey, that's part of what it is, the information, right? Making sure that you guys have this at your leisure. So listen, guys, if it was, do me a favor, share this video with 22 people and say, hey, you may want to take a look at this information. This may help your business. Other than that, you guys already know my quote. Coming together is the beginning, sticking together is progress, but working together is success. My name is Dr. Casual Pitts, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow, day 23 for Mayhem in May. Peace.